Yeah, hi, welcome to the stream. There's nobody watching at the moment, but if you're watching the recording, welcome. I'm gonna work on my MK3 printer. I printed out replacement parts. It's extruder assembly parts that have better airflow and a new design for the part cooling that angles the fan, so I'm gonna put those on. So it will be just a project stream, and I'm probably not going to be talking throughout the stream unless people join in the chat and ask questions. But I'm just going to get the printer out of the cabinet. So the plan is to change out this part, remove everything and get a new parts in. This is basically the first change or maintenance I've done on the MK3 printer. It has been working quite well for me. I'm just gonna tweet out that I'm streaming. I haven't really looked into the assembly instructions, but I'm just gonna try to do everything backwards by memory, removing things and getting access. Some motorcycle runnings outside. Sorry for that. probably have to get out the Prusa manual when I reassemble everything to get the right screws in the right spots. I was just finding out the stream was set to private, so that might be the reason nobody was joining in. getting dropped frames. Yeah, let me know if the stream is okay. I was getting dropped frames. Yeah, I have a new visitor. Please let me know if the audio is okay. I'm not talking too much. Yeah, and what I'm doing is replacing the stock parts for the extruder assembly to a newer part that has better airflow for the hot end cooling. So that's what I'm working on. So it's starting to come together. Remember what screws goes where. Backtrack a little bit because of the cables. Welcome. Is my audio okay? Hi Don, happy to see you. I was having almost no viewers in the stream and I made a mistake when I was starting the stream in the YouTube stream settings. I had the stream set to private, so I was been streaming for 20 minutes or something with the stream set at private, so, and nobody was joining obviously, but then I had to start the stream again and hopefully some people will join. I'm working on my MK3, replacing the extruder assembly. Prusa made a new design that had better airflow for the hot end fan. I'm assembling everything together again. So it's basically screwing the extruder apart and again and remembering where the screws should go. I'm having a little bit of struggle with the screw at the from a D9. What's a D9? I haven't heard that name before. Yeah, okay, one now. Okay. That's a similar style of the Prusa printer, right? Like a i3 style. I'm gonna attempt to put the idler on. It's always a little bit tricky because of the small plastic washers that you have to place. And they tend to drop. Yeah, so it's a part cooling fan. I was doing a design on my CR10 for the Swiss Micro hotend. It was the most demanding part was to design the part cooling nozzle to have it blow in the correct place without being in the way. This one made it. I'm hoping that I don't have too many screws on the table when I'm done. Yeah, Walter is. I was hoping to be finished with this before that stream. I'm pretty far into this, so I wanted to get this done. So, good idea for them to have this stream of there's like 3 channels doing a collab stream and rotating the host just for hanging out. I really have to think about how to do something like that for European audience because of time zone difference. Most of the streaming is done on the States side, so it's not good timing for me. And I forgot to put in the filament sensor. Have to undo this one. This filament sensor I just replaced. I managed to break the original one. Got a new one from Prusa and was printing with white PLA yesterday, and I was getting false readings. I know on the multi-material unit, the new one, they are replacing the optical sensors for a Pinda probe, so they might do, I hope they do an upgrade for the MK3 and 2.5 with a Pinda probe for the filament. So in Germany, is it active community, like a local community doing maker fairs or meetups or anything like that? Hi, Noel. How are you doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing a upgrade on my MK3 printers, replacing the extruder assembly for a new design from Prusa. Yeah, it costs a lot. I'm saving up for MRF for next year in the States. It's quite expensive to go. I went to ERF this year and it was awesome, but I really can't go more than maybe one time a year. Yeah, you had printed the R3P bars. Yeah, I'm installing those. It's looking good so far. I'm well into the replacement process. I printed mine out in IC3D PETG that I got at ERF. It's really easy to print with. Yeah, my estimate for Earth this year was $2,000 approximately for flying, eating in a hotel, and had a rental car and all that. So yeah, it's so far it's been really easy. Just the only problem was getting some of the nuts out of the placeholders, but I could just pry them out with a tool, like a sharp tool, but it's a rather easygoing process. It looks like from the new parts for the part cooling, they will change it a little bit. You have to find a nut or some new hardware to mount it. I have to look into it. But I have this printer in a cabinet, so I want to have the optimal cooling available for the hot end. Yeah, I'm well into the assembly, so now I have to fix the part cooling fan, and they have a new design for the part cooling, and I'm just have put everything together and I'm gonna do the cable management at the end. I think I'll have to look into the manual a little bit. Or maybe not. Yeah, I've been working on this for maybe 50 minutes, so that's about the time. So I'm just in an easy pace. I'm not in a hurry. So 1 hour approximately. Yeah, you have to be careful with the wires for the heater, not to break the wires. You can't really hurry through this process. Yeah, hi Paul, doing fine. I'm in the final stages of reassembling the extruder assembly with the new parts. So the zip ties are on the cables, so that is done. Now I just have to work out this new bracket for the part cooling. Yeah, I have to calibrate everything again and adjust the pinda probe, and because I removed the pinda probe to a new bracket. That's always fun to calibrate. So the fan will mount in a new orientation. So there's a bracket that I have to fasten this really should maybe look at a no, you're right. Good point. Thanks you, Israel. The extruder is rotated. That was thank you for pointing that out. I have to undo everything now. But thank you for that. I was having trouble with the cables and was wondering why. But yeah. Thank you so much. That was, don't know how much I have to undo. I guess I have to undo a lot. Yeah, I basically have to take everything apart. That's a good thing about a live stream. People will help you out. It's good fun. The weather, it was raining today. For most parts, it just ended rain. It has been raining like all summer for the last 3 months. we had like 2 or 3 days without rain. It's quite unusual, but now it's like 20 degrees C, so it's hot in Icelandic standards, but very humid. Yeah, where are you, Paul? Yeah, the light speed high. Thanks for joining. I'm replacing the stock extruder assembly parts for a new design from Prusa that has better airflow and better hot end cooling. So just Prusa released reversion 3 of the plastic parts. I was well into the install when Israel Eliu, I'm sorry if I murder your name, pointed out a mistake I did, so I have to go back a little bit. Yeah, Paul Cumber, United States, that's a pretty big place though. Yeah, the light speed, I have my printer in the enclosure and I want to get the upgraded parts installed because it has better cooling. Yeah, I made a enclosure with Besta enclosures from IKEA. They are a little bit bigger than the lac enclosures. You can see it here behind me. Yeah, I don't have a room for the MMU. I really would like to try it out, but I have very limited space. I can't have MMU with all the spools. Now it's in a correct place. Yeah, do you think the filament can be loaded from the top? Because the filament goes underneath the MU, so doesn't it have to be like from behind? But maybe if you have Bowden tubes on the input area for the filament, you could make it work. Yeah, it's actually the only thing I've done to this printer, except I put the Raspberry Zero for it and reprinted the case for the electronics. Yeah, you could maybe feed the filament from the bottom, and maybe you have to, because the MU comes on top, I don't know if you have to print out extra feet for the lac table to raise it a little bit for the MU to be able to sit on, but I haven't looked at it. It could be a possibility. This is better now. There's slack for the motor cables. I was wondering why they were so tight earlier and didn't notice the motor being in a different orientation. Yeah, is a MK3 your first and only printer? The thing is, the guide that comes with it, if you assemble it, it's really good. So if you screw something up, you can always have a look at the assembly guide. So it's should help you with that. But, 46C, wow. Where are you, the light speed? Yeah, okay. Yeah, but like I said, it's so well documented that it's unlikely that you will end up with just parts on your table and no way to go. Phoenix or something. Yeah, I saw in the news they were saying It was up to 50 degrees the other day. Was that right? Would cook an egg on just the pavement. I was in London in the beginning of this month for a week, and it was 30 degrees Celsius, and that was too hot for me. Here in Iceland, if you have a 15 degree C, that's a good summer day. The upper part of the electronics, this one I reprinted because I was installing a Raspberry Pi Zero. So I printed this part to have the access door in the behind to access the Raspberry. So that was the reason for that. Yeah, well. Yeah, it was printed in, I think it was some Matter Hackers PETG I had. Didn't have black PETG at the moment. Yeah, it is on Thingiverse. If you look at KC3D website where he is selling the Raspberry Zero, he points out to a model on Thingiverse. And I did a video on the upgrade, and there's a link also to the model. It's basically the same box, just with a door. You see there's a door here. Have to put this plastic washer in, it's always quite difficult. Yeah, I did have the Raspberry Zero, and I was having a little bit of trouble with it, so it's not installed anymore. If I had some issues with Octoprint, the software on it, or the printer, I had to reboot, and I was getting some issues, and I ended up removing it. So I was having a Raspberry Pi camera connected to it. It was, yeah, like you said, it's slow, so I ended up just having a normal Raspberry Pi 3 connected to the USB port. So the cable, and we created a mount that goes here on the X-axis. Yeah, a cat attack. Yeah, this one is very often on my workbench here. So I have to figure out how this is supposed to be. Yeah, with that. So I'm going to use a shorter screw to mount this in. This is like a 10mm screw. And then you have to place one nut in the back end. My normal job, I work in IT, running virtualization platform, VMware, storage and backup. So I'm an IT professional working in IT infrastructure. Yeah, also it's so this is a new part here in the bottom. This part is mounted in the same hole as the top part of the fan, and I had to use 10mm screw instead of the longer one that came with it. And here I have to insert a nut. Sorry about the shaking. I have to insert a nut here. So it angles the fan duct 45 degrees. And hopefully I could get this nut in here. Just trying to have it to fit. Yeah. So this will go like this here. This is mounted in the topmost hole for the old fan mount. And then the fan goes, it almost snaps into the plastic part here. And I'm using the original screw. And it seems I need a longer screw than the original one. So that is 22mm, I think. Yeah, so the change is, rotate this around. So now you can see this is the new fan shroud, and here's the new mount. And this part that was resting on this part, it's not used, so this is just fixed in this way. And I really don't have to use this nut that is embedded in here, so I could have used that one, but I needed a longer screw for the topmost part. It was 22mm, I think, and a shorter screw for the part here. So it's not a lot of hardware that you have to get to install this fan mount. Basically one shorter and one longer screw. Yeah, there is no screw on the lower right side. So this is just hanging in the air. And this seems to be pretty solid, just with one screw, because the bottom part is somewhat like a slot that the fan mount goes into. So it's secured on the bottom side by the fan shroud. So that's maybe a different design. Yeah, they should have really skipped this part. This part here is not necessary anymore, so they should have just removed it. But this seems to be pretty secure. have to adjust the printer probe, and that's always fun. Did you see Joe Mike's assembly? He was doing assembly and he got his printer probe in absolute optimal position. He didn't have to live see adjust a bit. It was absolutely on spot. Hi Robert, thanks for joining in. Well into this replacement. Yeah, PETG is the material used for the assembly. Prusa recommends that you use black PETG. So I'm using a zip tie to put underneath the printer probe. That's what Prusa recommends in the manual. So now with you can see more of the hotend in the old design. There was this grid here in the exit part, and it was probably interfering with airflow. So now this is just a big opening, and there's no really need for the grid for this part. Yeah, it's a Prusa design. It's a new mount for the fan and a new extruder assembly with optimized airflow. So that's version 3 of or revision 3 of there's 2 parts and the fan duct assembly or mounts. So it's all Prusa design. To find a power cable. I'll do the calibration. Yeah, it's to improve. This design on the part cooling is to improve part cooling, and they changed out the design of this part also, where the airflow exits, and having the fan in a 45-degree angle gives it a better airflow path throughout the system. So that's for part cooling, and then the redesign of the extruder assembly is for better cooling for the hotend. So they optimized the airflow throughout the system here, and they have now a small intake here. It's difficult to see, maybe you can see the hotend is shining through a hole here, and the fan blows air throughout the system, and it will suck air from this hole. So it's the same principle that Dyson fans use. So they will get more air flowing for the hotend as well. So it's a 2-part upgrade. Now I have to find the button. Don't know where the button for the LCD went. Yeah, I'll find it later. Yeah, so basically I'm gonna run the the fans are spinning, so that's a good thing. Yeah, the knob will be found when I print a new one, that's correct. That's absolutely correct. It's always, yeah, my cat, that's very likely. They tend to steal my parts. Yeah, strange. Don't find it. Ah. It was hanging on my trousers, and it's quite loose. I had some plastic to have it fit a little bit better. Yeah, I'm gonna let this finish before I put it on. So it's really loose, the button. Always fun to run this calibration. They seems to have changed the movement for the search for the printer probe. I have the latest firmware, and I remember when I assembled the printer, it doesn't go in circles like it's doing right now. So they're probably optimizing the code for printer probe calibration. Yeah, the plan was to, when I'm done, to do an overhang test or bridging tests and see if I notice anything changing. I'll do that when I put the printer in the enclosure. But sometimes I'm running the enclosure with approximately 40 degrees C when printing with a bed at 100 C, and I want to just have as good as cooling they could give me. So that's the reason I didn't have a real problem with the printer or anything like that before this upgrade. Just wanted to put it in, and while I was planning to do the upgrade, I thought I would just turn on the live stream. So, at least it didn't cut the... Yeah, I'll probably do some prints and do like a follow-up video, and if I see any change, I want to do some test prints and just to give out more information. This was just a impromptu stream, just to like a project. I'm not gonna sit out a test print of a lot of prints in this stream. Yeah, I haven't seen anyone doing before-after comparison. But I have a lot of things printed out for a filament review that I did on this printer before this upgrade, and I'm going to print those items out again after the upgrade and see if I see any change in print quality. So I will have some objects to compare. It's like a big box of parts and all kind of test prints and jewels and stuff. So I can print those out and see if I get any change. Hi John Mac, thanks for joining in. This was not a planned stream. I was just preparing to replace the Extruder assembly for the MK3, and while I was starting, I just started the stream and I was going for like 20 minutes and when I noticed nobody was joining in, and I found out that the stream was set to private. So nobody got any information about the stream. But thanks for joining. And I'm running the calibration after I've installed the new parts. so far it was rather easy install. I made a mistake and was pointed out. I turned the extruder motor the wrong way, so I had to backtrack a little bit, but that was all good. XY are slightly skewed, okay. Don't mind that, no. Yeah, I'm just gonna live adjust C and see how that goes. I'll look forward to see the number I get. Yeah, I think Walter's stream is starting after 5 minutes or something. My plan was to be able to finish this one up before the other stream. It would have probably taken me 1 hour if I didn't have to backtrack to do this, so it's not a lot of work. I didn't tighten the extruder screws enough. Yeah, it's loading now. Yeah, the cables, I had to remove the zip ties from the cables and undo them somewhat, but yeah, the cables that you have to be careful about is the cables from the heater block, because they are sensitive to bending. I'll probably have to do this again because the filament might have not loaded fully. I just had to remove the zip ties from the out. It's coming out. Yeah, I'm not lucky. I didn't get 0. I have to adjust it quite a lot. Yeah, 0.675 seems to be. That's okay though. It's not terrible. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna repeat. Just gonna check. This seems to be okay. It's pretty smooth. Of course, the focus is not good. Yeah, this seems to be good. 0.7, 0.675. I'm happy with that. I think I'm gonna put the printer after in the cabinet and maybe start a Banksy or something. To have it finish a print before I call it successful. This seems to be a good place. Here's the enclosure. Move the printer real quick into the enclosure. Here I have the Raspberry camera mounted on the x-axis. And it's going to the Raspberry Pi up here. So here's the mount for it, and the cable goes here, and every time I remove the printer I forget to remove this from the printer, so I'm always pulling on this cable. I'm not sure if I unplugged the cable. I'm gonna have a look in Octoprint. Yeah, Octoprint camera is working, so that is good. I'm gonna load the filament. Slice a benzene real quick. Why did I buy the MK3? The reason I wanted another printer. That's the main reason. I was quite happy with my M2. I had the MK2S, and I was finding more and more times that I want to be printing more. So another printer was the next logical step. And I already at that time sold some prints, so I was had the funds to buy a new one, and the MK3 was just about to be released when I was having these thoughts, and made an order for the MK3 like really early. That was the main reason, to be able to print more. Gonna start a PETG. And then I got a CR10 there in the background, and the reason I got the CR10, I want to print my landscape at a bigger scale than I was able on the Prusa printers. So that's the first layer seems to be okay. Maybe I have to adjust it a little bit. this seems to be going quite good. Yeah, I see the Walter's stream is started. Just gonna comment on the stream. I was just making a comment on the stream. You guys stream at the same time as I. Yeah, Walter, Country 3D. That's the name of the channel. This is their stream. I was yeah, but I think for now this could be called a successful upgrade. I'm gonna print out the things I did with the previous mod and do some comparison and maybe do a update video or at least a tweet with some information. So for now I think this will be it for the stream. Maybe I'll have the stream running if you're interested in seeing the Benzie, how it goes. I can leave the stream on if you want to. Just let me know. Yeah, see you around. Thanks for joining in.
Alright, I've got to do this because I know this is on my screen. Let me switch mics here and go to the snowball. And if you're wearing headphones, oh my god, here we go. I would like to tell you to mute your mic right now. I'm gonna mute my input source so it doesn't flash right. There you go. Right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Fernando.
Sir. Huh. Yeah, I think I'll just end the stream now. I'm getting a message from my wife. She has to talk to me about something. But this upgrade is done, so I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. I don't know when I do a stream again, but it will be at some point. I have some videos coming up on my channel, so have a look at them. So thanks for joining in, and I'll see you.